All right, guys, welcome to a special edition of the Liberalish podcast. We are here live watching the elections.
Yes,
I
sir.
got my man Dwa here, got my man Cam, got my man Darian, I got my girl Stacy, and got the infamous Armand here.
Oh my
What's up, guys?
god.
The infamous.
Infamous, man.
It's
So,
an
Armand,
evil
I hate
world we live
y'all.
in.
I hate y'all. I hate y'all.
so starting off, I think the media was kind of hinting that this was going to be a blowout in terms of a Biden win. But sitting here now, it seems like Trump's actually like making a pretty strong fight for his seat. Um, what are you guys' thoughts so far as you guys are watching the numbers come in?
I'm waiting for Little Pimp to come on the screen, bro. That's all I'm waiting for. I think when he got Little Pimp, that flipped a couple people's votes. That's
Little pimp.
Little
That's
Pimp.
what you talking about?
I really feel like he's the reason why Trump's winning it all. So those are my initial reactions.
I think actually that Kanye West in his third party run was actually like a key indicator. That's still like a lot of the Biden votes, but I don't know. I don't have the data in
You
front
know
of
what's
me.
actually crazy though?
No, bro.
All jokes
I'll
aside,
let you know.
I'm surprised that like because they keep like CNN. So I know most of us are watching CNN. I'm surprised that there isn't no third party people. Like they keep going back to 2016, and like 4%, 5% was going to third party people. I know Cam who you asked us about earlier, Joe Jorgen, something
Joe
like
Jorgensen,
yeah, like
but she only has 1.1%. And then
crazy. I
Howie
didn't-
Hawkins is the part of the Green Party who has 0.3%. And then other candidates, which are write-in candidates, which I believe is Kanye West. He has over 170,000 votes.
That's like a solid like
100.
American city right
That's
there.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, granted, in the big scheme of things, it's only 0.1% of the vote, but at the end of the day, that could like be swing states. That could be, turning red
you
to
know what
blue.
states those are coming in through, or did they just say the like?
Nah, it just says overall. It just says overall, like votes. It doesn't say where from.
Yeah, it could be from
Well,
California, which means like the vote doesn't really mean anything.
yeah,
So
I was about to say, like, if you guys had to guess, well, what states do you think those votes for Kanye came from?
Wyoming.
Florida.
Like, no.
Oh, Wyoming, like he might have a big following in
Hey, yo,
Wyoming.
actually, now that we
It's
talk
Florida
about
and
it,
Texas. It's Travis
Florida and
Scott
Texas.
fans.
true. Now that we talking about it, I want to ask y'all: do y'all think that Kim K voted for Kanye?
No.
Hell,
no, Kim K
Hell
didn't
no.
vote for Kanye West, but she told him she did.
Because that's a good wife.
I don't know, man. I think it's like feasible that she could have went like Biden. It's feasible she could have went Trump. It's feasible she could have voted for Kanye.
I think she went.
Like,
I agree. I agree.
Like,
She
it's-
could have
She
went
went
anyway,
all
bro.
in on Trump, man.
oh,
Nah, because the
man.
other thing is that she's gotten so much legally done under Trump
Exactly. Like, why would she go
that
Biden?
has benefited one, her image and reputation in the community. Two, she kind of benefits from bro's tax plan. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Mhm.
so like, but for somebody who on the other end kind of says that she's for love and she's for the community and she's this, that, and the third, and is always bashed by the black community for having black children, which is weird to me, but call it what you want. She can go any way in this election. And if she don't fuck with anybody, she could vote for her fucking husband and know that he's not gonna get elected. So she might have. Who
I got a
fuck
question.
knows?
I got a question for y'all. Why were people so against Kanye? Was it because it's Kanye, or because people just didn't want a third party for the election?
Because he hasn't been sane for the last 5 years.
Wait,
So
didn't
it
it come
was-
out
it was
that
more
he
so
was
'cause
like
of Kanye.
just trying to take votes away from Trump?
Okay, so that's what it is. I didn't know if people
Was it
just
from
didn't like-
Trump or was it from Biden?
Sorry, from Biden. From Biden, yeah.
All right,
So
so
that's my question. Is it because of the taking votes away, or is it because people just didn't fuck with Kanye? Like,
I mean,
Jay-Z,
so-
for example, ran would people have been like, "Oh shit, we back in Jay-Z."
now
Wait, I mean, I just think Kanye's not equipped to be president. Like Trump isn't equipped to be president, but like I don't think we should go from Trump to Kanye. Kanye just should not be
I disagree.
in
The simulation is
That's
at full
what I'm saying. If
capacity.
Trump is president, Kanye could be president. That's why
No.
I'm asking the question.
We shouldn't allow Trump to be the bar where it's like, all right, if Trump won in some crazy shit in 2016, then we should allow Kanye to win in 2020 or 2024 when he inevitably tries to run again. Like, no. Like,
because he's black,
like
black people are just harder on black people, because I feel like if Kanye could do the job, I mean, if Trump can do the job, why can't Kanye do the job? Because we're still alive. I mean, as much as
at least Kanye gonna like fake love everybody.
Yeah, like the economy.
Do you guys actually want to sit here and say Kanye West is my president of the United States?
I didn't want to say Trump's my president, so it's like I'd rather have Kanye my president than Trump.
But stop. But you shouldn't compare Kanye to the absolute worst outlier of all time.
Okay.
In presidents.
I don't agree that it's the worst.
I win again. So
wait, excuse me.
I don't think Trump is the worst outlier, because we've already had Reagan. We've already we've had Bush. Like, we've had these.
All right, we can't say that.
Is this what we're doing tonight? Like,
I don't understand why
we're doing.
No, wait, time about. You guys are saying that Trump is like, you guys don't put him on par with Reagan, because I look at them as the same person. They're
all
both,
right, bro. I'm not, bro. Trump as a human being, as in terms of the things that the direct things he said and tweeted and stands by and doubles down on, he is the absolute worst person who has held the office of president of the United States.
Whoa,
that's criminal. I would not go that far.
Yeah, I won't go that far.
What?
Bro?
Harry Truman was a KKK member.
Who?
In the White House.
Harry Truman.
I was like, who? There was presidents before
I
I was
don't
alive.
care.
Right. I mean,
no. And of course. All right. Hold on.
Ronald Reagan put crack in Baltimore. Look at
Ronald Reagan thought apartheid was a good thing.
All right. And this is annoying because I hate backpedaling. So I'm not backpedaling, but I'm just clarifying my statement.
All right. For the record, show Armand Sandler's backpedaling.
In terms of extremely wild commentary from presidents that I'm aware of, commentary, not full identities.
Are you saying because you're aware of it because of the social media era?
That is part of it, but Donald Trump is genuinely one of the most blatantly just awful people who has held the office of president of the United States. I don't think I'm wild in saying that, so I don't think I'm backpedaling.
I think it's wild to say that. I personally think it's wild to say that, but I don't know if it's because
you know what?
I'm confused. What's going on? How
I took U.S. history.
Wait, Stacey, what you said?
I said, how is this something that we have to explain to you? Donald Trump is the worst. Period.
Thank you.
No.
That's not the conversation.
No. But I'm saying, if you look at all 45 presidents, you can't say Donald Trump is the worst. Period. That's just not. We had Harry Truman with KKK.
I'm talking about him as a person, his ideologies, the things that he said, his demeanor, his. So
is it just because is it because he's outwardly racist? That's why we're saying it. It's because he's not hiding behind it.
It's not just that. It's
and he's just not a respectable person. Personality.
He's also stupid. He's also a stupid.
All of these niggas be stupid. That's why I'm always confused when people say it.
They're not all stupid.
George
Bush was the same type of nigga.
Right. We were calling him
George Bush is not as stupid as Trump.
We were calling him stupid.
George Bush was definitely maybe even dumber than Trump. That's for facts. The fact that Donald Trump is so bad publicly that people actually go to Bush like he was good. Everyone hated Bush. We hated Bush.
No, look, hindsight is 2020. Of course, having experienced Trump for 4 years, we're gonna look back Bush wasn't really all that bad for the time we had him. But no, excuse me.
Because Trump is a terrible president for sure.
For
But
sure.
Trump didn't invade a country off a lie and killed hundreds of thousands of people.
That's a fact.
I mean, Bush did.
In my life, Bush is the worst president in my life. Me knowing politics, like
Right. I mean, we sit here and we judge.
What are we doing here?
Puerto Rico.
Like, what are we doing here? Let's check the election results because I'm tired of this.
The election map is favoring Trump right now, so we're just gonna get used to us saying Trump's our president again. That's what we're doing.
And actually, we should actually.
I'm not going cap. We're not going to know until Thursday.
We should
Thursday, Friday.
actually talk about that, guys. Do you think there's a lot of people who you guys know who voted for Trump and didn't say it?
1,000%.
I don't really engage with those type of people, so
no. But I feel like there has to be I mean, maybe not for us because we're in blue states, like we all live.
Your coworkers probably did, right?
I mean, my coworkers.
I guarantee.
I knew they voted for Trump. Like they were telling me.
I guarantee you, I work with some
the first time they weren't, but this time for sure.
All right. Darian, he didn't say anything. Have you voted for Trump?
Nah, I voted for Biden, bro, about 2 weeks ago, man.
I voted for.
He's like,
Oh man,
he got put under the pressure. It's like, no.
I got voted for Biden, man.
It's like, no. I mean, it's rough, man. It's rough. Like, I don't know what you expect from people. Like. And like I don't really understand this whole commentary about like the like tax plan and the economy, this, that, and the third, which Trump benefited from Obama, like what everything that was put in place under Obama, even though he wasn't the best president. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is, but you know what I'm saying? Like I don't understand why people are so up in arms that aren't in this upper echelon tax bracket talking about fucking tax plan that doesn't even affect them. Like,
you know what's crazy, Cam? That's literally what I was saying to you earlier about how my friends who didn't graduate college, they're the main niggas who are like, yo, like Trump, like the best 4 years of my life, Trump was the president.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like,
they don't even realize.
I'm not touching 400,000. Like, y'all would have to kill somebody to touch 400,000.
Nah, they the type that be like, well, under him, I could head ass. Like,
don't let hope.
All right.
I mean.
Sorry to cut you guys off, but right now on the map, if Trump wins Wisconsin and Michigan, he's president again. And as of right now, he's up in both. So
FYI. Is that for facts or is that just speculation?
You can't say it until like all the votes are counted, but like, assuming.
Nah, they got him winning both right now.
Yeah.
And like what's up in the air is Minnesota because technically Biden's leading.
All right. Can I ask you guys a quick question? So I think Pennsylvania is trending red and I think Minnesota's a toss up. Those are two states that had like a pretty big thing with the racial unrest. So Philadelphia had one where like the cops killed the guy with the knife and they broke into that woman's car and beat her up. Right. And then Minnesota obviously had the George Floyd scenario. Do you think like that kind of scared voters into like the Trump camp?
Scared voters into the Trump camp?
Before I answer that question, was Minnesota blue last election?
Correct. Yeah, Minnesota was blue last election.
I think they're still gonna go blue. If I had a bet on it.
So you don't.
And PA went red last election, right?
Right. What's up?
PA went red.
PA went red last election. Correct. Yeah.
I think in Philly it didn't make a difference, and I think the reason because he had a knife and there was mental issues. Like we didn't really see the outrage like George Floyd, but for Minnesota, I kind of think that kind of flipped the state because they were talking about how more people voted this election, and if more people voted and it's even closer, and it might flip. I don't know. That situation might be
rough though. Like that's such a hard debate because the idea is that with people moving, even with Corona as recent as it is, the trend has been kind of ongoing for many years as for people moving out of metropolitan areas into the suburbs. Like we all know that.
Right.
So with that being said, like there's a hard fought battle in Georgia. In Georgia, Biden's only saving grace is if he can win those suburbs of Atlanta. Like we know he has Atlanta, but he really needs the suburbs of Atlanta to really make a push enough to outpace all of the rural areas of Georgia, which are continuously red. So, I mean, just saying like the George Floyd incident or incidents of civil unrest pushed pushed like voters to vote this year. I think it's been an ongoing trend, but I don't think it's enough because like we saw in the Senate race for I believe it's Senate for Stacey Abrams in 2018.
Right.
Like we had a push towards Democrat, but we couldn't complete the, or get the gauntlet, so to speak, because
Right.
while we have the trend, because before Stacey Abrams, it was a significant win for Republicans. Stacey Abrams was the first, Democrat to even get close. And then after that, they were saying, all right, cool. Maybe 2 years later, the trend has lent itself enough to, maybe make itself apparent in the presidential election.
Right.
I personally think that with so much civil unrest, it was supposed to wake up so many Democrats, but
Right.
I also feel that it scared so many Republicans that, oh my God, the Republicans are woken up. The Democrats are woken up. Oh my God. We think that they're gonna move to the polls, and I think that a lot of the media sources that I've at least consumed have said that this trend has been completely blue. This trend has been, oh my
Right.
God, everybody's worried. Like everybody's been scared from George Floyd. Everybody's been scared from Breonna Taylor. This year is the year to vote no matter what. And we've had record numbers of early voting. We've had record numbers of voting, period.
Right. Right.
I don't think that that's completely blue. Like I think that's foolish to think. So I also think that there's been
And that
records.
show, I mean, even just to touch on that, that shows just off the numbers that we see. Like, honestly, like truthfully, I've been saying Trump's gonna win it since the beginning of the year. COVID kind of shook me, but I thought Trump was gonna win the whole time. And today, I'm shocked that it's close. Like the fact that even at any point today that he had the popular vote was shocking. So
right. So let me ask you guys another question, right? So like in 2016, the polling data had like Hillary Clinton winning by like a pretty decent amount, but the polls are wrong, unfortunately. And it seems like
all the time,
right,
consistently.
Usually there's about like a 3 to 5 point swing, but this is now seems like the second election in a row where like the polls have been wrong the other way. So do you guys think like the polls are just asking the wrong people? Like, who are you going to vote for? Or do you think like there's just like a hidden like super Republican minority of voters out there that we just never really considered?
I think it's both.
I think, definitely. I think it's both.
You know what? I mean, of course, there's always two sides of the story, and it's both. But I would lean towards the latter.
Just saying.
Cam, I could definitely say I think there's like a lot of, I don't know what they call it, like a silent majority, but I think there's a lot of like who quietly are voting.
Because you want to know the other thing? The other thing is that you got to think about who's asking. It's two things. You got to think about who's asking in these polls, who's getting these polls, which are major media outlets, which tend to be more Democratic. I don't believe that, but like, let's just say for what I consume. Cool. Then two, we already understand Trump's base. It's fuck the media. It's y'all lying, y'all capping. Y'all really just don't even understand. We don't even want to talk to y'all because we think that y'all going to tell the wrong story. And I'm going to just go out and vote because y'all don't even understand my plight. So I think that a lot of the case is like, Blue is going out saying, you know what, fuck Trump, we listen to YG, fuck Donald Trump, all that bullshit. We gonna poll, we gonna let the US know that we here for the blue, or like we just fuck the blue. We just trying to get bro out. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? But on that end of fuck the media is, hey, I'm gonna still vote, but fuck your little poll, personally. So I mean, I think it goes both ways. I think that personally, it's a lot of red people that's like, I'm not even participating in y'all bullshit. I'm gonna just vote and y'all gonna find out what's good. So I mean, I think it's going to come down to a lot of border states. He can win all the little middle states that he wants, but as long as we get California, Nevada, you know what I'm saying, the whole northeastern region. The northeastern region is the biggest part, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I don't think he's going to get Texas personally. Right now, the biggest thing right now is like he's winning the popular vote, this is a complete turn from 2016, whereas Hillary was winning the popular vote and Trump was winning electoral college. Now I'm seeing Biden winning electoral college and Trump is winning the popular vote. I'm fucking confused.
I think the white people or the red people, I think they secretly mobilize like on the lowest of keys in a way that we don't know. Because it makes no sense how like
it's
we
word
don't
of mouth.
see this.
I think it's word of mouth.
And I think like we all consume such liberal media and we think like in the mainstream media is so liberal, we don't even realize it.
And the other thing is that when we consider large mass media in our favor, a lot of times, a lot of people like to sit back, be like, all right, cool. My people got this. They're going to go out in numbers. Like, and some people don't even vote. Like, if we're going to keep it a stack. And then some
this
people
is one of those elections, though. People are voting, bro.
I mean, like we said,
I feel like this is going to be an election where you will know what America's about, bro.
Yeah.
I think this is election like 2016. You're like, like 53% of people came out, but this is going to be over 65%.
Yeah, there's been a record turnout like all over. Like,
but I feel like they say that every year.
I'm looking at the map right now. I wish I could find a way to show you guys, but I'm looking at the map that Armand sent to us. This shit is crazy, bro. It's all red.
No. I'm looking at the same thing. It's nuts, honestly.
Like
it's nuts, honestly.
Literally, and it's like literally the only thing that's blue right now is the Northeast. Even right now, Maine is red. I mean, I'm assuming that'll flip, but the fact that even Maine is up there in the little squiggly lines is like, that's nuts.
All right, so let me ask y'all this though. So now that y'all kind of see, while the popular vote was a hot topic in 16, and then now Trump is winning the popular vote this year, but the electoral college, at the moment, as we're talking about this, is swinging Biden. How do y'all feel about the electoral college, and do you believe that should be abolished and it should just be popular vote?
So I'll answer first and I'll let everyone else get their turn. But I almost tweeted before, like in the beginning, so I'm gonna say like 6 o'clock. I almost tweeted. I was like, this electoral college shit is stupid. But the fact that, once again, I just said like this election will know what the country's really about. And right now, Trump's could potentially win the popular vote and the electoral college. So it's like,
is there a possibility for Biden to win the electoral college and Trump win the popular vote?
Correct.
Yeah, odds are still highly in favor of Joe Biden right now. We're just speculating because like Biden was supposed to win this thing like outright, and like Trump's actually still making like a pretty significant comeback.
Yes.
But the favor is still in Joe Biden's hands, and like all jokes aside, we are rooting for Joe Biden. I think we're just steering the conversation more towards like Trump if he wins, because we had like a similar conversation back in 2016 where like Hillary Clinton was by far the favorite. It got close, and then like Trump took a small edge there.
Right. So, I mean, it's leading itself to being the exact same story, just with a lot more drama. So, and vice versa, and for the other side. So, I mean,
so what states right now are you guys looking at? Like, right now,
personally, I'm looking at Texas, Arizona, and Pennsylvania, and Minnesota or Wisconsin. One or the other has to go blue. I mean, depending on what you were rooting for. But
I mean, right now, I mean,
those are my 4 or 5.
Liberal media, I guess you would say.
Liberal media, period. Pennsylvania, Arizona, Texas, Minnesota.
It's so crazy how PA is really held by Philly.
So now, yeah, Philly. That's it.
Philly. And
it.
I'm looking at the map, and Pittsburgh went blue, which I'm surprised because a lot of the surrounding area is red.
No, Pittsburgh, like, so the thing about Pennsylvania, because I kind of grew up there. So you have like Philadelphia, you have Pittsburgh, you have like State College, you have Harrisburg. The moment you leave like the metropolitan area, you're in the South. Like you will see
Period.
Confederate flag,
Period.
everything in a Union state of Pennsylvania. So like,
Yes.
I'm not totally surprised that they're trending more and more red.
I mean, but that's like traditional. That's
Yeah.
pretty traditional, which is odd, but I mean, it just seems to be that the rural counties everywhere. We're just talking US. Fuck Pennsylvania, even though that's my birth state. Shout out. But at the end of the day, rural counties, their mentality is less government, less taxes. Let me do what the fuck I want to do. Period.
Yo, Cam, so it's so funny you just said that, because I was talking to one of my homies earlier, and he was saying something to me, and he was like, I don't think if you ask a normal Black person who isn't into politics, I don't think they would think that the Republicans are really the ones who think less government. Because like I feel like it's sold that the Democrats are the ones that are like less government, but it's really the Republicans who are the radicals. They're the ones less government. They're like trying to be edgy. Like we're gonna do.
I see why you say that. I see why you say that.
But it's just like, to me, it's just so crazy because in my head, because you would think the Black people would side with the less government side, but we're all Democrats.
Absolutely.
So like I think that's just the craziest. That's the craziest.
However, to your point, I do believe that like for us, I think that, or our community, I think that we have to work our way to a point where we can even have the privilege to say that. Like, you know, I grew up in the DC metropolitan area, bro. Like I work in the field of DC, bro. Like it just hurts to see that shit, bro. Like I'm talking like real live. Like I'm working in the field surveying the area, and an ambulance pull up 2 blocks away, and I see the whole block come outside, see what's up. I, as a worker, have to wear all black just so it don't seem like, you know, like if I wear red, I wear blue, I could get capped any moment, bro. Like it's just we have to get to a point where we even have the privilege to be like, yeah, I don't want the government in my face about X, Y, and Z. So like until that moment happens, off top, we're gonna be for the people. We're gonna be for the education, you know, the government funded, you know, public schools. We're gonna be for the government assisted programs. We're gonna be for Medicare for all. We're gonna be for X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? So until like we're gonna be for everybody. At the end of the day, like that almost lends itself into the culture. We're the most welcoming culture in the fucking world. So we're gonna be for the people before we're for ourselves. Excuse me, but
you know,
like,
it's so funny. I literally saw last night. I was talking to one of my homies. Sorry, Kev, I didn't want to bombard this, but I was talking to one of my homies, and I was saying, Black people, it's not really our image, but Black people are the nicest people in the world. Because I feel like every cause, like Black people's, they're the forefront of the cause.
I think we're accepting because we understand, we get it. Like we struggled for so long, but now we need to start being meaner. We need to start being tighter about who. Like, remember how they were saying with Lil Pump, like, why did we let him into the culture just for him to do this?
For sure,
retweet.
Like we need to start being, you know, gatekeeping a little bit more.
And I think that's and what Stacey just said, that's big facts. It's like,
see,
we need to start acting. We need to start securing our culture more and start looking more for looking out for our people, which is something I know we crack the jokes, but Dr. Umar preaches that. He's always like, yo, like we need to start looking out for each other. Like it's not a Republican Democrat.
He a little extra. He a little too much
extra,
for me.
but
He's extra, but he says I agree with some of the things he says. I agree with some of the things he says.
The morals,
I beg your pardon.
the compass is there, but he be taking it a little far.
The only thing I really don't agree with Dr. Umar about is the whole like him not accepting gay people. Like I don't understand. Like at the end of the day,
I don't understand that.
That's really weird. But other than that, and even now he's starting to lighten up on it. Like I can tell, like he's starting to be like, I can't really move like that because you know it's tainting my message. But at the end of the day, he's Black first. One thing we talked about in the last episode of Liberalish, I was co-guest or whatever, co-host, I don't know what to call it, but I said that Black people we need to have an election, like something that doesn't have to do with not like political election, but like I feel like Black people don't have a leader right now, and I feel like certain people should just run for it, and we're just like
that's funny. That's like, funny. Like this is a social election.
We get the census for Black people, get the addresses, and everyone puts in the ballot. And we're just like, we should vote for this nigga, and they're the nigga that we go.
We listen to. I like that.
And we're like,
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Should do that.
But to your point, it's gonna be some bullshit because at the moment we value sports and entertainment so much that I can't trust us to put the right person at the forefront.
Only person it could be is
do you think a sports entertainment person would run for it? Like I don't think LeBron would run for that role.
Oh, like run for it?
It's gonna be like
no, like you have like literally like a presidential election.
Oh, you have to run for it.
Yeah, you know, people like D-Ray, Sean King, like those type of dudes would run for it.
Hey, fuck Sean King, run for it.
But I'm saying like these are the dudes that'll run for those. Like
I feel you.
We should have an election.
I feel you. But if that's the case, then I would like to look at a little bit broader landscape of who's actually, you know, the Black political figures that are out there at the moment that I may be unaware of. You know, rest in peace, John Lewis, whoever he would have voted for, I'm voting for.
And that's exactly why I was saying it. I was like, yeah, we had the president, and then we should have like the point people in all these Black cities. But the thing is like we have our own like corporate structure before we even go into the like. I feel like we can't have a Black agenda unless we like I feel like what is the Black
funnel
agenda? Yeah, like what is the like? Everyone has their own like we have 6 Black people here. I feel like all of us have 6 different opinions of what the Black agenda is and how we should move it forward.
No cap.
Wait, hold up. A quick update. Politico says that Joe Biden is up 209 to 119.
Yep.
Okay. 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 Well,
Joe Biden. So the reason why that is just the update is because they just officially gave Joe Biden California, Oregon, New Mexico, Colorado, and Washington.
All right. So the West Coast. All right, but
West Coast always goes Democrat.
Pretty much. And I'm watching CNN right now. They say close election may come down to Arizona, PA, Minnesota, Wisconsin. So that's 3 of the 4 that I gave earlier.
Yeah, for sure.
So is Ohio officially red?
No,
not yet.
It's still up in the air. It's still trending red, but it's still up in the air.
Yeah, Politico has 53-45.
All right, so back to your conversation, Dewat. Do you believe that there should be more options in? I don't want to say the ballot, but as a like, do you think, and this is obviously for the panel, that we should give more status or kind of a little bit more legitimacy to other parties? And do you think that there should be more parties that we give legitimacy to?
Yes, because you see how you just said that there's 6 Black people here and we all have different like views and opinions. I wish there were like Black parties, like multiple Black parties that were all overall like have like the same collective goal. But you know, there's people that are kind of like Dr. Umar-ish, people that you know are more. You get what I'm saying, kind of.
Absolutely. No, because I remember in 10th grade, like my very first government class I took, like they give you this little like political like views test or whatever, and it's like, how do you skew? And like I was surprised, like my joint leaned Republican, and while I believe I have some of those views, you know, I'm for the people before anything. So like, you know, in my lifetime, while those may be my views, like I've seen the people who are on that side of the fucking aisle, and I'm like, fuck them. Like they wildin'. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and at the end of the day, it's weird because there's been more economic expansion under democratic presidents, whether it be GDP or the overall economy. However, there's been more taxes, so it kind of evens itself out, and then vice versa with Republicans. So typically, you know, who do you see more returns from? If we're just talking a personal standpoint, as far as the stock market, if you're into that, you know, you may get more returns from a Republican seat holder. And that's a lot of people's standpoint with Trump, and their point of view in this election may be, let's fade 4 more years of hate for a bigger pocket, and he can't come back another 4. You know what I'm saying? So
he's talking about he said the first 4 didn't count. Do y'all believe that?
Fuck out of here. If you gonna say that you won as hard as you said that you won, then how you gonna say that they didn't count? You know what I mean? Like, you didn't take over for a president that was assassinated. Fuck out of here. Like,
all right. So let me ask you guys this question. I'm kind of like shifting gears here. So typically after an election, like we only have 2 parties, and I agree if you can, we do need more parties. But I think the way we vote, it doesn't make sense to vote for a third party because it's just winner takes all. I think we need to shift it up to like a ranked choice voting type of thing, where we kind of rank out our candidates. But in reality now, our 2 major political parties kind of like look at these elections and they kind of shift gears based on like the results. So for example, Republicans were trying to play like this, hey, we're fake moderates route, and now they're all in on Trump. So if Democrats lose this election again, do you think Democrats should kind of like step away from like the more left or more liberal voices, or do you think they should step away from the more like black voices and just focus more still on like middle America?
I see what you're saying. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like, if we wanted to put it into a perspective of, you know, do you believe that if you didn't, you know, like, let's just put in a perspective of ball, because, you know, we all black here, we all love sports and entertainment. Let's just put in a perspective of Kyrie Irving type shit, right? Let's just say that you got the best handles in the fucking game. At the end of the day, at the end of a game, you had like 10 turnovers. Whole city mad at you. Are you gonna tell Kyrie Irving to stop playing the way he playing? Like, that's what got him there. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't believe so. Like, I think there's a reason that Bernie Sanders isn't our, you know, electorate. So I think that it kind of funnels itself out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
That's just my point of view.
We just got a new addition to the show. Shout outs to my boy Kevin Monangai. Do you want to introduce yourself? He's been doing a lot. He's honestly, Kev has been doing a lot to literally educate me on politics. I'm not a political person. And it's funny because my 2 friends that have educated me the most on politics, both of their names is Kev. So Kev, if you want to introduce yourself.
What's going on, y'all? So me and Joao, we went to high school together. After going to Seton Prep, I ended up at Villanova, and after Villanova, I played in the league for a few years in the NFL. Played for the Eagles, played for the Vikings, and most recently was a coach in the NFL for the New York Giants. So yeah, man, thank you.
Yeah, shout out to you. Welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
I just want to I don't want to even take too much of your time. I definitely said I wanted you in here quickly.
Yeah, because I'm over here doing part-time political correspondence.
I know, you're out here doing a lot. I just want you to basically say so far we've just been basically updating people how like everything that's going on with the map. How do you feel about what's going on? How do you feel about the turnout this year? Just basically just let us know everything. Like, let us know your feelings as of 11:14 p.m. right now.
Yeah. Hold on. So I would say this, right? If you're watching MSM, mainstream media, right? Like, you're probably thinking this thing is still close, and or that there are a lot of states that still haven't reported. I'll tell you this: I'm looking at real-time data, bro, and I'm not gonna call it right now but I will say this: it's looking really good for Trump right now. You know what I'm saying? They haven't called Florida, but he's all but won it. He won Florida. Like it's been won. Like, he's up by 400,000 votes right now. I think about 95% of the electorate or the votes are in. He's running away with a 10-point lead in Georgia. Texas, he finally took a lead in that. I don't know why that was so damn close. Well, I do know it's because all the people from California leaving and heading to Dallas, Austin, and Houston. He's winning in Ohio. He's winning in Pennsylvania. And this is all like real, like, this stuff I just looked at before I hopped on. New York obviously is still reporting their stuff, and then you got the mail. Because the thing that was showing because I was I was looking at this like, damn, this is looking kind of like it's like a blue tidal wave at first, But with this universal mail-in and what they've done traditionally with counting it, it's always been early voting, absentee and or mail-in counted first, and then in person counted last. So because we had such a switch this year where mostly Democrats voted either early and or in person, that's why it looked so crazy. You feel me? Like, as we were initially looking at the map when they started coverage today, like 4 p.m. or whatever. Excuse me. So as now we are getting to the in-person votes, it's like it's starting to look kind of brazy. If you're voting for Biden, I think you're getting a little nervous in the pants, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm just like I said, it's too early. I think with a couple states, they're trying to push it to the point where we won't know until like maybe Friday, but I think that's all to gain some more time so they can finesse something on the back end, truthfully. But so it's very interesting to see this all play out. And that's not to say, and the one thing that I will say the media did the people a disservice, but I know that it was intentional malpractice. They didn't do a good job, or they did a great job of making universal mail-in voting sound like it was absentee ballots when they're two different systems entirely, and as best as I could, I tried with the platform that I have to explain to people the difference and how they're not the same thing.
Okay. Can I ask you a question, man? I'm sorry to cut you off.
No problem. Go ahead.
I know, you being Kevin, you're just a very highly intelligent person. I just know from experience.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
So Kevin, let me ask you this, because I asked the group before you hopped on, like, what do the Democrats need to do, or where should they shift their game plan if they lose the election? Well, I'm going to ask you this: if the Republicans do lose the election, because I understand, like, it does no good for Trump now, but Biden still is the clear favorite, to win the election. So if Republicans lose the presidential election, what does the Republican Party as a whole need to do to change gears to appeal to more voters going forward?
It's a great question. I would ask you, just as context to that question, you're feeling that he's the clear favorite, he being Biden, is that based off of like early polls? Is that,
So I think that's kind of based off of, correct. It's based off of early polling right now. I think that Biden has more avenues to win the presidency as of right now. Now that can change within the next hour or so. I do agree with you that the polling data that we've been told going into the election has been kind of wrong again, and that there's a lot more like Trump voters than we realized, right?
Yeah.
But I personally still believe that Biden still has a shot at the presidency. So I'm just playing, again, devil's advocate here, that what if Trump loses the election? It could still be close. I'm not debating that, but what if Trump loses the election? What should Republicans as a whole, what should they do to try to appeal to more voters going forward?
Got you. Well, I think where Republicans have gone wrong, honestly, is not necessarily in their appeal to voters. It's in the lack of investment in infrastructure in the early 2000s, right? You know, we've gotten to a place in society now where the big tech, big media, they're all democratic institutions. So when you control the platforms that people speak, engage on, which is social media, the internet, you also control the media outlets like the news, which is the propaganda channels. When you control all these different things, you could, even Hollywood, you understand? Like, so it's like people are getting what essentially effectively becomes indoctrinated by purely liberal ideology. So it becomes harder and harder to the point where, you know, conservative voices are being drowned out. Like I think maybe you guys were seeing this, but prior to the election, especially on October 1st, Facebook and others were cracking down on mostly conservative voices on their platforms, you know, but it's like, if you don't like it, go to your own platform. You know, you get what I'm saying? Like that's what it comes down to. You guys didn't, when the tech bubble was happening, you know, Silicon Valley, which obviously is a more liberal leaning location, y'all didn't jump in the race. You guys didn't invest in, you know, publications. You got people like Jeff Bezos, who's a super donor. You know, people like him are buying up newspapers all over the place. So you can't. I don't feel you can complain about things that you didn't pay attention to, you know, just because it's too late in the race. So I think that largely just shapes how people feel about political candidates. You know, if you ask most, and then not to mention academia. Academia is largely, it's just known statistic that if you go to most public and even private institutions now, most of your professors are liberal leaning professors to the point. And then, you know, we all been to college where you may not agree with your teacher, but if you want to get a good grade on your paper, you're going to write what the teacher is looking for, you know? So over time that can indoctrinate a whole generation of kids. So kids are getting hit from all angles in this way. And I feel that speaks to why more people may appear to be liberal or appear to lean towards the Democratic Party, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the conservative ideology or the Republican Party is not doing enough to reach voters. I just think that they messed up in the last wave of industrial revolution, I guess you could say.
So let me ask you another question here, Kev. So this year, since you know we have a group full of Black people here, we saw a lot of like social unrest this year with the George Floyd shooting, with Breonna Taylor's case. You know, Philadelphia, like the way they handled like the protest there, which is absolutely horrendous. Do you think that had like any impact on this election?
100%, 100%. I think we've gotten to a point, especially it's almost how much time from, it's about half a year, what 6 months since George Floyd. Yeah, right. People don't, I mean, let's put ourselves in the shoes of somebody who built a business that they plan to get to their children of no fault of their own, never had an altercation with with anybody over a racial sentiment or anything like that. Just has been working hard to build a life for their family, and then overnight, because of what is clearly, you know, and I say this all the time, it's not the left. When I say the left, I mean more specifically the media conflates what they call peaceful protesters with what is really far left extremist groups, right? So even though a march for George Floyd, a march for injustice, initially started off as something that had good intentions, great intentions, really. You know, it's the same fight we've been fighting since the 60s. I think it just turned into something that is an opportunity. And I get into this on my, on my profile a little bit, an opportunity to sow the seeds for not just civil unrest, but what's come to be known as a color revolution strategy, which is a United States military strategy that's been used in revolutions all across the world. So in Georgia, the country next to Russia, Ukraine, the Arab Spring, and we're kind of seeing that play out in our election season right now. So I think groups like Black Lives Matter and Antifa are all just, you know, different sides of the same coin, being financed and used by globalist government, globalist individuals like George Soros and friends, and they have essentially pitted our group, our different groups in our country, specifically business owners, specifically Black people, specifically, you know, just people who want to be left alone at each other's throats, you know. And I think that's created this divide that unfortunately has us as a powder keg right now, you know, at this place of so to answer your question in a long-winded fashion, I think that Black people, we've had our struggle, our hurt, our pain hijacked by these interests in the pursuit of globalism, you know, of the breaking down of national borders, all for the pursuit of you know, a one world entity.
Hey, that's interesting that you brought up like Antifa and the far left movements. I think those of us on the left will probably argue that there are some extreme groups on the right, such as the Proud Boys. You know, I think there's other, I can't think of the names right now, but you know, they're also rather aggressive as well. I don't know if you recall that back when the mask mandates were in effect in Michigan, for example, there was a couple of guys that grabbed their guns and went straight to the state capitol. There was also a group of people that wanted to kidnap the governor of Michigan. How come you didn't bring those groups up? You know, when you're highlighting, like, you know, you brought up like the left and like extreme groups on the left, but how come you didn't bring up the extreme groups on the right there?
Well, specifically talking about the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys is a group that is not a white nationalist group like it's being represented. It's one ran by a Black Cuban, a man darker than me. So I personally don't know of any, unless we're talking about what's his face? Is it Denzel Washington's son playing the guy he played in Black Klansman? I don't know of any white nationalist groups that have Black men running their groups. Secondly,
wait, what's the name of the Black man? Do you know?
That Denzel's son was playing. And
no, I thought you were talking about Proud Boys.
Yeah, the leader of the Proud Boys is a Black man. Something what? You can literally Google it. Google it.
Oh, okay, Google. I see him. He's Cuban.
Yeah, but he's Black. Like Cubans may not call themselves Black, but you're Black, right? You know, like if you look at his picture, he's a dark skinned Cuban.
I Dominican. I know Black.
I ain't know.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, Black like this.
That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, but you know, when it was brought up in the debate and everybody was talking about it, that wasn't discussed. It wasn't discussed that
absolutely
is a Black person. That's a Black man.
They didn't bring that up at all, especially left-wing media.
Okay, I'm looking at photos of him, and him being Black is a little bit debatable.
That's debatable.
Like, I don't think
we gotta break out the paper brown bag.
He's obviously not white fully.
Hey, baby, I'm Black. I don't look
it. We gotta break out the paper brown bag.
Yeah, like we not doing that right now. Let's not.
Like, come on now. That's a problem that we as Black people need to deal with.
That's triggering for me.
Yeah, we can't do that. Nah,
come on now. You going to disband
I see why it's not like
what Stacey's saying, but he's sure a cute, like he's for sure a nigga who looks like he be at Dykeman, like.
But
what's wrong with Dykeman? I'd be at Dykeman, bro.
No, but he don't look like.
Wait, Dwight. Hold on. Rather than saying, "Oh, Black," does he look like a nigga?
He looks like it, bro. I don't know if I can even.
Yo, y'all are wilding right now.
That's not a nigga.
That's a Black man.
That's not a nigga.
Do you consider Jason Derulo a Black man?
Yes.
Okay, then. He's from the island. He's from like the same
man.
Thing.
Same man. Same man.
It's the same. They look exactly the same. That looks like Jason Derulo, bro.
I don't know what Google got.
Bro, I don't even
drilling this shit, bro. He's a nigga, man.
I don't even understand why we questioning that.
Y'all so foul, bro.
I don't even understand why we questioning that.
That's what I'm saying.
I think the reason you're right, it's not that big of a deal, but the reason I brought it up is because I've never heard of this before. So, and as I'm Googling his name, there's not many stories from, you know, major outlets like, oh, this Black man is leading this group.
And that's what I'm trying to say. It's on purpose.
I agree.
It's on purpose. And if you want to talk about other, you know, so we have obviously the Proud Boys was made a big deal of because of the
stand back and stand by.
Yeah, but I literally can show you video evidence. Like I wish I can go back on my phone right now. I'm supposed to go jump back on my political correspondence page, but a few days after Charlottesville, Trump literally denounced the KKK, white right wing supremacy, and white nationalists and neo-Nazis. He did, but when you look at the clip that was played over and over and over and bashed into the minds of Black people that he refused to denounce white supremacy, they cut out the rest of that. But if you listen 10 more seconds, he very clearly did it the day of the event, and then 2 days after repeated himself. So it's
if I could quickly ask though,
please,
why didn't he do it on the national stage when he was at the
debate?
The debate, yeah. And I'm genuinely curious.
I understand. I can feel your energy. No, I'm not. I know you're not. I don't think any of you guys are asking like that. Yeah, I said this when that happened. I said he could have handled that better.
Right.
And I don't want to get into the space of making excuses for people. I could just say, that he should have handled it better. Yeah. So I can give you an answer, but it'll come off as me making an excuse for him.
It is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. But for them to then turn around the left media, you know what I'm saying, and claim that he's never done this.
Right.
That's disingenuous.
That's just cap. I mean, well, over the night before you joined us, we definitely spoke a little bit about how the left and the right have been capping. So, to put it in layman's terms. But
for real.
if we could just, get your quick perspective on it. You gave us, Florida, Texas, how everybody's playing out in real time, but what states are you looking at that, are still up for grabs and, to maybe in play that can swing red or
both
blue
ways. Yeah.
What are you looking at?
I haven't dug, I haven't really jumped into Michigan and Wisconsin, but I would say that is a big one. Arizona.
Yep.
I
agree.
Yeah, I would say those are the big ones for me. Pennsylvania, from what I'm hearing, the Pennsylvania, I think is just going to be a lot. Can I curse on here? I was gonna say
a shit show.
Yeah.
All podcasts. You can curse.
No. I asked because these are a lot of the states that I said Pennsylvania, Arizona, Texas, but at the end of the day, Texas is probably gonna go red regardless. But
they literally just changed the what is it, Politico? The shit Armand sent me. They literally just changed it to before it was bluish. Now it's full.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I said Trump really needs one of the Great Lakes states, which is either Michigan or Wisconsin. Michigan in 2016 was blue, and it's looking. Excuse me. Minnesota.
And that. Excuse me. I would say that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I would say the civil unrest could play into that.
Absolutely.
People just being fed up, bro, to the point where defund the police. I don't know how y'all feel about that. I personally think it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
I think it's stupid. I think it should be. I think that it's a cool little phrase, but
in reality,
police are very needed.
Thank you.
Can I ask you guys a question real quick? So do you guys believe that there is systemic racism in our police departments?
Absolutely.
No one's denying that, but I would say they need more money.
So how do we then correct systemic racism in our police departments?
I believe that some of the funds can be directed towards social services and that they be integrated into the police and that certain situations can be handled differently. Now, I'm not saying defund the police. I'm not saying defund any other system.
But that is defunding the police.
Things can be handled differently.
That is defunding the police, though.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. If you have a pie,
systems, it's integrating systems.
No. I hear you. I see you. I understand you. But if you have a pie and the police department gets a certain chunk of this pie, you need to take away that pie in order to fund those social services in order to support the police department.
And I'm saying taking these systems and integrating into the police pie.
Yeah, he's talking about reallocation. You're talking about defunding.
Correct.
Yeah, it's the same thing, isn't it?
That's not the same thing. It's still, you're giving $1 billion. If I give you $1 billion, if I give you $1 billion, if I give you $1 billion, you're just splitting the $1 billion up over more areas. That's all.
Right, you're splitting the $1 billion more into social services, are you not?
It's still in the
but it's still $1 billion.
It's still.
I understand it, but you're funding it into a social service program.
But that's
but that's still $1 billion that goes to the
police. The police is the whole pie. So the whole pie is the $1 billion.
No. So we're missing the thing on the pie. The pie is called a city budget. And I'm saying the police department gets a certain chunk of that police budget or that city budget in order to fund like the social services that you guys are talking about to assist the police departments. When they go out and make calls, you might have to reduce that police department pie a little bit.
If I could cut you off,
sure.
You're focusing on the fact of social services as it is now. I am saying that there can be, let's just say, a police officer unit, just as there is a SWAT team, just as there is a SV, just as there is a X, Y, and Z. There can be a unit for, let's just say, for example, the Philadelphia incident for mental health cases, for people to de-escalate certain situations that don't need to be met with lethal force. Or should there be, as there is in the UK, non-lethal police? Now, that's just the instance, and that's not what we're talking about right now. But I'm talking about reallocation as opposed to defunding. Defunding is taking what we have now and reducing the cost of what is there. Period.
100%. That's the problem I have. If anything, there needs to be more money for more training, more situation-based training, right? So because most cops, go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that there's literally more training. There's literally more training for example, bro. I spent years in the Boy Scouts to attain my Eagle Scout. You know what I'm saying? Like, and in that, I received gun training. I received archery. I've received community service. I've received X, Y, and Z. All of the things that are supposed to be revered in police enforcement over years. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it should take years to become a police officer. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that for other areas, there's more training required than there is a police officer.
Yeah.
Whether it may be.
Wait, what the fuck? They're saying this man Biden has 192 electoral college votes.
Yeah. Are you sure that's not the
This is also the Clinton News Network, so I don't know.
No, I'm watching. You're funny. That's funny. I'm looking at that too, and I think it's cap. Honestly,
this is cap, bro.
It's cap. Because right now Trump is winning.
How is
winning the?
Bro, the map I'm looking at is all red, bro.
What you talking about?
No one lives in those states.
Haven't counted Texas, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Florida.
Nah, Biden just passed Trump in the popular vote. Like, Trump has been winning the popular vote all night. He just
I ain't trying to hear this. Like what? These niggas.
Honestly, I think all of this is cap until Friday. Anyway.
Friday.
Yeah, this ain't ending tonight, baby.
So then why are we all like up?
I think that's debate. Well,
I'm just doing
tradition.
Honestly, the only reason why I'm up is because I want to see if they call Florida and Texas. Because if they call Florida,
Florida is done with though. They just refuse. They refuse, bro.
Both of those states it looks done. So I don't like once they call that
it doesn't make sense because Pennsylvania is extremely important and they didn't start counting until today.
They said PA won't be done counting until Friday.
Exactly.
Georgia won't be done until Friday. USPS has lost 300,000 ballots.
These people are criminals.
I think Trump did
straight up criminals.
Trump was like, anything after today shouldn't count.
I mean, I agree, honestly.
I feel like anything after today isn't that gonna make him lose?
Nigga, what? Newsy's over here talking about 209 electoral. I'm about to.
209. Wait, what?
Right now on Politico is 209 Biden.
Oh, nah, I got 209 Biden, 118 Trump.
So they have like the Western states basically for Biden, right?
Yeah, Nevada's up in the air. No
Nevada
results.
and Arizona are the two ones that aren't.
Because Nevada didn't start counting until today.
My nigga, is this what's happening right now?
So like Trump.
I'm actually confused, bro.
Yeah, this is.
It's just math.
What do you mean?
It's just math.
Just math, man.
It's just math. Nah, I'm seeing a lot of red, fam. I'm seeing
I'm seeing red in the swing states. That's what's confusing me.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out how it's
all I know.
Because the only state right now that's a swing state that Biden is winning is Minnesota right now.
Period.
Texas, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina.
No. He's winning. He's winning Virginia by a healthy margin, which is not a swing state. But
on Politico, I have Virginia him losing right now. And Virginia called it.
No,
dude, no. They
I'm
called
looking
it
at
early in the
Politico
morning.
too. Hold on, maybe I got to refresh. Maybe I
got to refresh. This is
Kevin, what news sources do you go to? Since
Virginia
News Network.
You must be looking at West Virginia.
I look at the decision desk.
Like, fuck out of here.
The decision desk mostly for real time.
I got you.
Real time, please. Dog, I'm.
Yo, Cam, I'm about to take a picture for you because I just want you to know I'm not tripping, nigga.
I'm kind of sick right
now.
Nah,
because both of the maps I'm looking at got Virginia blue.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I thought you. My bad.
Yeah, I was saying Biden has it, but is Virginia's not a swing state, right?
Virginia is a red state.
No, it's not
it's a blue state.
It's a purple state.
I'm generally trying to understand.
Virginia?
Yeah, Virginia's a purple state. I think they went for Bush. I'm sorry. I think they voted against Obama.
Does that just mean like I guess they are swing? Like what?
Yeah.
All right.
You go either way.
I thought they were traditional.
Kev, you out? Kev, we'll see.
Yeah, I got to bounce, but I definitely want to come on here again, bro.
Podcast, man.
Yeah, yo,
all right, man. It was really nice talking
because
to you,
I already have a vision. I need to get you. We need to have the Kev's pod because I think it'll be genius. But we'll talk offline.
Yeah, we'll talk.
All right, have a good one, man. Be safe.
Y'all be good, man. All right, later.
But yo, Kev, I mean, this is the What You Expect live stream, or the Liberalish live stream, excuse me. I think the Kev addition to Liberalish would be genius because you're gonna get a guy who just believes in facts, but also leans to the left, I guess. I never know if it's the left or the right.
I don't know. I want to hear a little bit more about certain things he was saying because he was talking about not defunding the police, and I'm just like,
why were you quiet? Why wasn't the only person on that Ark Hill? You should have defended me.
No. So I've always been on the defund police thing, but how Cam and Kev were saying it, I understand what they're saying because they're saying if you defund the police, you can't get the social justice.
I think that
we have to train the police to be. I feel like if you defund the police is going to be worse. But
that's actually false. That's actually really false.
And I know what you're going to say. You're going to bring up.
I'm sure if you go to the defund the police website and have like an FAQ, I'm sure they have these questions there.
No, the reason why I say it's false is because we have to ask ourselves what is a crime, right? And what is a crime? Because the New York City Police Department went through a phase where they decided to go on strike and stop like doing their jobs, and crime actually went down. So we kind of
because if you remember, the police aren't supposed to be charging you and shit. They're just supposed to take you to jail where you await your trial. That's their job. Their job is not to, figure shit out.
Well, that's the same argument as like all these Trump supporters being like, well, if you didn't count Corona, then it wouldn't be no motherfucking case.
But I mean, are they wrong?
That's for sure. That is for sure the Trump argument.
But are they wrong?
Trump said, like, yo, if we stop testing, our numbers are going to be down.
Well, if the police stop, then it wouldn't be no crime.
But then also with the counting corona thing, I do think that shit is not black and white. But that shit is not black and white, because if you've noticed, like, there'll be people where they die, like they have a heart attack and maybe they caught corona and they'll be like, oh, they died of corona.
Yeah, nah, we counting everything as corona though. We count everything.
So the numbers are like a little bit off. Like I don't know.
I think the numbers are actually higher than what's being reported.
I could see that too. Yeah.
I think
it
like
goes both ways. I think it's the right number because it goes both ways.
I disagree. I disagree with that. But like I think like it's kind of not fair to say like that's like the coronavirus argument, because like, for example, like what's a crime, right? If you are caught smoking marijuana in like a state that doesn't like legalize it, you are a criminal. Even though you're not hurting anyone, you're not doing anything to anyone, you are considered a criminal, and the cops are going after you. So I think like we have to like sit here and think like what is actually a crime and what are these cops actually going after? If they're going like non-violent criminals, then like what's the point? You know what I mean? There's alternative ways.
You got your point, right? I really want you to go back to your coronavirus point. What do you mean that it's not off reported? You think it should be higher?
I think it should be higher because like so for example, here in the state of Florida, they actually make it a little bit harder to get tested. So even if you do get tested, like your results are like, it takes over a week to get your results back here in Florida. And I think like in Texas, let's say you have coronavirus, and if you die in your house, they're not going to test you. They're just going to say you died of natural causes, and then that's it.
So I don't know if it's the numbers necessarily need to be higher. I just think they're not being reported accurately.
I'm confused why you think that a week is a long time for you to get your results, because that's pretty normal.
That is a long time.
That is a long time. You can catch it within that week.
That's a long time, yes. But in the ebb and flow of things as they are right now, that's the average time that anybody would wait for the results.
Like the NFL has 5 days on their shit.
So you can argue that it's a long time, but if it's the average, then everybody is dealing with it.
Is it really 5 days for NFL?
It's because there's a backlog of work in test labs, so they can't get to your shit within 24 hours. It's a pandemic.
I think that
panoramic.
I think that
it's a panoramic.
Yo, me and Stacey were so ready to say that.
Yeah, y'all funny as shit for that.
Look, man, I think that we being like the richest nation in the world, us saying that there's a backlog, it's just not a simply good excuse. We can mobilize that. We can easily.
All right, we're the richest nation in the world, right? Because everything costs fucking money, and all of these tests are free. Who's paying for that? The fucking government. So everything's going to take fucking 15 years.
I disagree with that, man. If you want to bomb
we're just shelling out the money for this.
If you want to bomb a country, a president can bomb a country tomorrow.
Absolutely.
I disagree with that.
This president isn't paying for them fucking tests.
Well, first off, it's up to Congress. Congress has to release the funding, and I think that's where.
And they're not. It's Congress.
Regardless, I think it should. The turnaround time should.
It's so funny because Stacey's the in between on this, but at the end of the day, y'all are both right because the numbers are not correct.
Yeah, the numbers just aren't right. I know that for a fact.
The numbers are not correct. My thing about what you're saying, Kevin, is that yes, Congress could be like, oh my God, for the people, boom. Send this money out, send this shit out, boom. Congress don't fuck with each other. So what are we talking about? Congress is going.
But that's not a money thing. That's a politics thing. That's a completely separate thing.
Politics is money, fam. You're not going to tell me that.
That's not the same thing, fam.
Why?
It's not. It's a politics thing. This is a politics thing. They don't want to do it.
How? If they can't, if they cannot agree on a stimulus package, then you can't tell me that they can agree on getting the money for these fucking tests.
So I'm just saying, like, there's a key difference between like I can't afford to do something or I don't want to do something. there's a completely different.
And I'm saying that while you are right, you are completely correct, 100%. I am saying that on both sides, they are saying that we both want these tests, but you got to give me something.
Right, and I'm saying like that shouldn't.
And I think that's holding it up.
And I agree with you. I think our federal government has completely failed us.
Okay.
Coronavirus. I'm not arguing against that. I'm just my frustration is that
the ability to do it.
We have the ability to just turn it around. We have the ability to.
I'm saying that it's not happening.
We're just not doing it. It is not a money issue. It's just simply the incompetence of government.
Yes, absolutely.
It's just not a priority to them.
I agree.
Right. It's not
he was sick for like 3 days. So if he could beat it, anybody can.
Right. Like these politicians, they get like the best government funding healthcare possible. They don't care. And like that's
do y'all think
this old man on Clinton News Network, like he Kev said earlier, he has to be tired. He's been on TV since 5 p.m. bro. It's 11.
He's getting a bonus.
Yo, he has
that's OT. That's big OT.
Oh wow, I'm just now getting the Clinton News Network joke. Wow, so slow.
I got when he said that, I lost my mind. It's crazy.
I was like, I've never heard of that website before.
That's what Trump said.
Oh really? He said that?
Yeah, Trump said that. I was like, come on, Kev.
Yo, actually, can we just recap certain things he said that blew my mind? Like when he said that thing about how the Republicans be losing shit because they didn't invest in like tech and shit. And like, I was like, damn, he's right, because it's like, how I was saying, I was shocked that the fact that Trump's even is I think it's 50, it's like 49, 50, 51 on the popular vote right now. And the fact that it's even that close, we're getting fake news. Like there's like the news has been saying all week, like it's all been liberals, it's been Democrats, all the celebs are posting I voted for Biden. It looks crazy if you said you voted for Trump, but the thing is, like, the country is voting for Trump, bro.
And that's the thing that bothers me, is that people, especially up here, are so stuck in their New York, New Jersey bubble. They don't realize that everybody's like, some of y'all are lying. Y'all lying. You didn't. You actually voted for Trump. I'm like, no, they're not lying. There's just a world outside of New York and New Jersey and Biden supporters and mainstream media, CNN, that type of stuff. There's a whole big ass world.
I'm just curious, like, who are they polling? Because I've never been asked for a poll before.
Bro, I always say that these polls are fake news. No one asked me.
They be making
They asked the people in the CNN office.
I vote my local office.
Who did you vote for?
Federal. No one asked me for my opinion. So,
hey yo, as I was leaving, I just want to let you know, Stacey, I'm laughing. You just got that CNN joke.
That shit hit her mad late.
Yeah, mad late.
Honestly, also, I just want the listeners to know, like, make sure you guys, I don't know what Kev's, I put his shit.
Hey,
let's follow him, because Kev be going on Instagram. There'd be like 500 people in his lives. Like he be on some preaching shit. He broke.
Oh, he was being serious when he said he had a political thing.
It don't even be. I don't know why he said it like that. He literally just be on his Instagram live exposing Democrats. Like it's crazy.
Nah, honestly, I mean, he gotta support his own media. His own shit.
Like he had this whole thing about Hunter Biden, like having sex with his daughter, and like had videos and shit on it. And I was like, yo, this nigga.
What?
Yo, it was the.
I mean, he seemed like he about the facts. So
he's only about facts.
I'm a tune in.
Yeah, his at is at Kevin _Monangai. I really want to get the Kevins in room together, and by the Kevins I mean Kevin Waith, Kevin Ijoma. He does pull the pin, and Kevin.
You like the KKK in order, huh? Racist.
Kevin.
Wow.
Kevin Ijoma and Kevin Monangai play football together, and they low-key have like political beef because they're like the same person but on the opposite side. So
political beef.
No, like honestly, like because they're both strong ass like NFL niggas, like they need to be in a room.
Kevin Ijoma, isn't he like kind of hoteppy?
Yeah, he's the opposite of Kevin Monangai. They're the same nigga. He's a Mapso nigga. So, but yeah, like. They're the same person. They're both strong Nigerian niggas or African niggas, because Kevin Monangai is Nigerian. But tune into Liberalish. They'll be here.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll set it up. Get the K's in order.
You guys want to wrap this up? So we're going crazy with the time.
Yeah, we can probably wrap it up with like, who do you guys think is gonna win? I guess on Friday or whatever.
Fuck. Hey man, I'm gonna just go with the data.
The map saying Trump's winning, bro.
I don't fucking know, bro. The pop vote got Trump winning, bro. Right now it's saying Biden, but I think it's cap.
I think regardless who wins, we're still fucked. I feel like Trump is about to. Even if Trump loses, he's not taking that. So it really doesn't matter.
Nah, I'm gonna say
people not gonna take it. Cowboys gonna be in the street.
I'm gonna say that Biden's gonna win. Trump is gonna contest. He's gonna tell the Proud Boys to get him motherfucking streets.
But the Proud Boys are not racist, so we gotta emphasize.
Bro, why you protecting them? I ain't say they was racist.
I'm not protecting
probably
them.
one of them.
We had other Kev on here, so I just want to like.
All right, look. All right, so you're gonna tell them to get them motherfucking streets. You're gonna tell them to recount. Then that shit gonna go to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court is gonna say, "Nigga, that's cap," and they're gonna forcefully remove Trump from office. And at that point, Biden's gonna be in office. But Stacey, whoever the fuck, Trump put into Supreme Court is gonna already be in Supreme Court. So it's gonna fucking suck regardless. So
I was gonna say, like, the Supreme Court's a majority conservative.
Yes. They, after all of the questions about Trump and Kamala, Biden and Kamala stacking the fucking court, they stacked the fucking court. So there's that.
Yeah, so even if Trump doesn't win and he contests it and it goes to Supreme Court, like,
he has the authority to put Shorty in Supreme Court, bro. Because what's gonna happen is after he contests, he's gonna have more time in office, which allows him to do more shit.
I will say this: like, there is, like, you do legally for both candidates. I think there is. I think a month after the election, you can take up to a month after the election to like contest it. So they're both well within their right to do that.
And we're about to find out about all these different rules and laws that we've never even heard of.
If I'm putting money on it, Biden winning.
All right, so you got Biden. Dwa, who you got?
I think it looks like Trump's winning, bro. Because to me, everyone so far every state, like Biden hasn't won a state at this moment where we're recording that he wasn't supposed to win. Texas is looking red. Florida's looking red. North Carolina just went red on my screen. Ohio's red. Pennsylvania's red. Wisconsin's red.
I mean, Virginia went blue, which is kind of big.
Virginia, and so what? You can get Virginia and Minnesota.
Yeah, you get Virginia, Minnesota, and Iowa, and we're waiting to hear back from
Iowa. Still is red on my screen. Everyone's looking at different shit, but
yeah.
To me, it looks like Trump's gonna win. I told you guys I voted for Biden, so that's just really where I stand.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I'm giving
the shock in her voice.
No, I'm joking. I'm
giving the Dems one more chance.
One more
chance. All right. So
before we get out of here, and I just want to say that
let's just get the hate out the office, bro.
We need us black people. I'm gonna get together and we're gonna have this black vote. We're gonna figure out how to get this done. I need people to run for it.
Would Candace Owen be the top of the ticket?
No, she's not black enough. We need to start, and that's another thing, black people. We need to start ripping people's black heart away. Like Candace, she lost it. Daniel Cameron lost it. Like we need to just start ripping people's black heart away. Michael, he lost it. Like there's just certain people we need to stop giving them black cards. We need to stop inviting people in our culture. Jack Harlow say the N-word. Like we need to stay together on that. And
facts.
We won't know till Thursday or Friday. So
all right, the Armand, who do you got?
I think I've been the one person who's just been speaking a lot from the emotional standpoint, just because I just want Trump out. I just want shit to get better, and I'm very optimistic in that way. So I am going to go with Biden. And he's not the candidate that I wanted. but he is the better choice right now, and we just need to take steps progressively towards.
Who was a candidate that you want?
Bernie.
I did like Bernie.
He's like more of a Mayor Pete Buttigieg type of guy.
I'm sorry.
You seem more like a Mayor Pete type of guy.
I don't know why that feels like mean.
I don't know why either.
I would be offended if somebody said
well spoken. Well spoken.
It wasn't a diss.
Hey, it is what it is, man. I liked Bernie. Back in 2016, I liked him. I definitely liked Hillary when she was going against Trump. But
right.
It is what it is. Right now it's Biden, and if he can take it from Trump and just put us in position to at least get a little better, then I'll take that. So I'm going with Biden.
All right, facts. All right, Stacey, who do you got?
I don't know. I hope it's what's his face, Biden, but I'm low-key pessimistic, so I'm just expecting Trump is gonna win.
All right, interesting. All right, and our silent assassin, the secret Republican voter, Darian. Who do you got?
Hey kid, bro, I got Biden by a slim margin, man.
All right. So Darian has Trump by a slim margin. I got Biden. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching election night with me, guys. This was a lot of fun. Hopefully Biden wins. If not, it's going to be a pretty good 4 years for the Liberalish podcast. All right. So we out, guys.
We out.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having me.